Guys, this is kind of a weird react because, I mean, I'm not.
Hey, good humans. Before we start this episode, we've got a big announcement to make. We're gonna be having a.
Are you tired of seeing this guy intro every
Guys,
single Jubilee video?
this sounds like a bit because.
Black men that date.
Guys, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not black, so it's like
White women. There's something.
Void work prohibited.
Black men that date white women. There's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like you. Oh, okay. Childish Gambino. I can see that. Jordan Peele. Okay, I can see that.
Guys, I feel this. Guys, with how hard Jubilee baits, I feel like this is. I will give it a try though.
I am expected to have a big dick.
What?
3, 2, 1, go.
Jesus.
Nobody disagrees. Yo. Yeah, I feel like it's a stereotype. And we know that stereotypes aren't realistic, but I mean, personal encounters, I don't feel like there's leeway. I feel like, okay, that one we're keeping. Like that's what the general notion is.
I think it gets into the issue of positive and negative stereotypes and how people need to realize that there is no such thing. Because what you do is you put people into a box where they're expected to live up to a standard. And I feel like it's over-sexualizing black men. You know, you should want to date someone more for the pleasure physically that they can bring to you. And I know I've talked to people personally who will be like, oh,
okay,
you're black, you have a big member. And I'm like, well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well-spoken, I have a good sense of humor, I'm well-traveled. Like, you go straight to like what's underneath my zipper.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience a lot of times, especially, you know, meeting different people, that's the expectation. And I just tell them, 2-inch Punisher, you know? Don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's
just joking.
I think a lot of people watch a lot of porn too, and that's where it comes from. Like when you watch a lot of porn, you see, you know, these mandingos and, you know, 10-inch monsters, and they expect that to be reality, and a lot of times it's not, but that's the expectation that they have. So
Our audience submit
Oh
hot
no.
takes about this group.
This is gonna be so bad.
They are hot. So, black men cheat on their significant others far more than other races.
What?
I'm just like, where is this study published? Did someone do some research?
Dude, you strongly disagree, but I know it's not my take because you know, I'm not part of this, you know, but just why though? Why is it even a question? I could disagree just because I don't agree with the premise. What if the question is that?
I was gonna be neutral because I don't know the numbers. Like, I don't
that's
know.
What I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
true or not.
Just the fact that you asked this question,
So
I'm just going to disagree.
Keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? In generally, like you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
To prescribe this to race feels nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of somebody that got cheated on by a black man. Like, it was like, yeah, black men cheat all the time. Come on, this doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I
Black
agree.
men are attracted to big butts.
Do we agree with that statement, or do I personally?
I mean, there's nothing biologically innate to like black men to, you know, to like ass.
Well, but who isn't though?
Hip hop and the whole strip club.
Yeah,
scene
exactly.
right
Who
now.
isn't?
We are so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right now it's all about who has the baddest ass. Who ass is 25 pounds with 2-pound legs. You know what I mean? Like that's hot for some reason. And I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me, like, you know, but I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass though.
Bro, black people are funny, and if you ever try and roast one of them, they will roast your ass so hard that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
What kind of episode is this?
I get what he's saying. I think black people as a collective are funny.
If you go to black Twitter, if you go to black Instagram, black Facebook, like you're going to laugh. So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it, because you just, it's like.
So I guess it's like the question is like, black people as a whole, are they funny? Or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like, I think that's just the difference. Black people as a whole, like, yeah, they
this
got
episode's
jokes,
already
you know,
off the
goes back
rails.
and forth, cool.
That's why I said as a collective.
But don't think that any black person you go to expect like a really good joke, you know?
The N-word should stop being used by all races.
Oh, this is the tough
3,
one.
2, 1, go.
Oh, I knew they would hesitate.
That's hard. I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word, even slaves would use it
not only do I not have a take on this, I can't have a take, I think.
describe
That's
other
my
black
take about
people
this.
when accepting their supposed oppression. So I just think, when I think about that, I don't think you can do anything to erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N-word as they were being murdered.
Well, one, I'm white, and I don't think I'm in any position to have a take, or
So I just, when I think about that,
anything,
yes, I think the word should stop being used.
Personally, I feel like it kind of starts with us. The fact that we make it so cool within music and within like entertainment that it lets other people feel like they have a pass, or that it's okay because my favorite rapper said it, or I heard it here, or you guys say it all the time. How come I can't say it? But at the end of the day, it's black culture pain, and if anyone's going to be using it, it should only be us, and that's it.
You can't really own a word. I think, we can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea of where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it, I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power, because historically, it's like, right, historically, black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally a word that only has meaning because we add meaning to it.
I mean, respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only reason it's policed so much, and I feel like the only reason we even have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right, in several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment. There are, in the 90s, there was heavier women reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling it and things like that. But I feel like in those instances, nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like,
can we really make a parallel with this one? Guys, I just feel like these are such different topics because they have such different natures, usage, and history. And when it comes down to such things that are so specific, I don't think you can mix them together. I don't think it's a good idea to make a parallel between the both of them.
You know when there are boundaries set, and that word is one of the boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to hear the like, if we use it, why can't it? We do that all the time with a bunch of different things. And I don't think this should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody, I'm not.
Well, I think it goes back to where you're saying boundaries. Because when you break down communities,
I'm always thinking about the comparison.
Blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture, where there's like, it's 5 group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it. Like that happens. So it's like, we're having this broad conversation, and I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like, it's such a convoluted, I guess, topic where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you are. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people should say it. I'm just saying, if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact, in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community. 3, 2, 1, go.
A lot of us black men, we will rather.
Wait. I think this is one of the things where it's like, I think it's overall a big issue.
Friends with the homie that, probably has a rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I think that that's something that, we got to work on. I don't think
it spikes much harder in other areas. I think it's overall.
I don't understand the whole
You think it's worse? I don't know.
phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you? Like, why do you feel like it's such like the scum of the earth?
And I also think it comes from religion, because I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the black community, Christians. And when you talk about the Bible, they say, homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people
that's a good
have
point.
that ingrained in their mind. This is absolutely not right. And for a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. And so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community. But I know that in the Black church sphere, homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be. There's almost nothing worse than being gay. And I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all the other things that the Bible outlines that are not, holy. And then we just take homosexuality and we make it the worst. Granted, the Bible says it's an abomination, I get that, but the Bible says any sin will send you to hell.
Okay, so you're trying to say you're not gay, don't talk. Okay, if he makes a parallel between homosexual men and heterosexual men, it's a parallel. You can both talk. What are you on about?
You can't be
pro-black. It's not a one-sided, exclusive discussion. What are you on about?
And date a white person. 3, 2, 1, go.
The what?
Pro-black and date a white person.
This question, that is super hard to bait.
Go.
Oh, never mind.
I think really the issue with this statement is, for me,
Hey, Jubilee, here's a Prussian idea. How about you guys swap the agree and disagree, and you put it in a way that disagree matches the right side. Disagree on the left, agree on the right. Because now we're all confused. 90%, we think that 90% are going right side, but then they're going left side. So it's like, what's happening here?
Really, the issue with this statement is, for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, interracial relationships, or they date white people and they forget who they are. And if you are pro-black, it doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the person if they stand on their morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally me, I feel like if you're pro-black for everything. Like, you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for everything black. So it's kind of hard for me to understand how someone can be pro-black and want so much for, the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that,
So are you saying that if you are black and you're pro-black, you cannot act on attraction to someone from another race?
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like, I'm saying if you're pro-black, you wouldn't find someone that's not black attractive to me. Not saying attractive, but you wouldn't even want to cross that.
I'm gonna go ahead and
engage in a relationship with.
I'm gonna go ahead and just watch and just listen.
Like lust, like, hey, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally, you want black kids, you want black family, you want your lineage to carry on.
I don't know. I feel like the question in itself kind of like low-key negates the demographics of the country. I mean, black folks make up 13% of the country, roughly, and a lot of the time we live in concentrations. So, you know what I'm saying? If you in Iowa, it's gonna be a little tough to find you like a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do, not who you decide to be with.
My first response to that is like, what's the point of love?
I'm just trying to learn things, and I don't know what term pro-black means.
It's like
I don't know what's the meaning of the term, so it's kind of hard to even understand the premise.
We get upset
the
that people
topic.
do it to us, and generally, like looking at black people and judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them is like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people regardless of who, they're in a relationship, depending on the color of their skin?
I'm not gonna lie.
Because just because of how it's worded, being pro-black, I mean, couldn't a white person be pro-black?
I do. Like, I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you could be dating for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino, I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. And like, oh, okay, I see, like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that. I can't think of another example, but I feel like I can tell, like, okay, like that's cool. You know, I'm happy, you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner. 3, 2, 1, go.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner.
I don't play them colorism games over here.
All right, so the reason why subconsciously for me, the reason why I feel that way is, you know, growing up, I was always, bullied for my skin color.
Chat, these questions will always be bait, in my opinion. These questions will always be bait. I feel like
out of place, you know, I was always told I'm not black.
You can have a preference, but if you voice a preference, it doesn't matter what it is, you are wrong, based on
and
people's perspective.
You constantly hear that, and you get beat down with that, and
no,
you know,
it's how it is. Don't tell me that this is not true. You can and you will, people will always have preferences. That's just how people are. People will always have preferences, whether it's one or the other, right? But once you voice that preference and say, hey guys, I prefer this, then everybody gets ultra mad. It's one of those things where you just don't talk about
yourself. And like I said, I grew up in a broken home.
You just can't talk about it. You just can't say anything.
It took me a long time to figure out myself. And for a lot of times, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I used to hate the way I looked. I was like, I don't like being dark skinned. I want to be light. And I'm just being honest, but now I'm more comfortable with myself.
I guess I have a question. Do you think it's because you look at a potential partner as lighter skinned so that your potential children or so would be lighter skinned so they don't have to go through what you feel like you went through?
Nah, at the end of the day for me, I'll marry whoever I seem fit. So it really doesn't, to me, matter about the skin color, but I will admit subconsciously I do think, when I see a light-skinned woman, I actually, look a little longer, or I might linger a little longer, or be a little more interested just because of, that consciousness that I had growing up. So it's not something that I say that dark-skinned women are far unsuperior or light-skinned women are more superior.
So a preference?
It's just because of the constant beat down and the constant hatred about me being dark-skinned and the way I was treated, that subconsciously I do think that way.
But do you feel like you have some sort of like self-hatred because of that?
Yeah, well, not anymore, because it took me a long time. I mean, this started happening, like I said, when I was 6, when I got in.
So a subconscious preference.
Now I'm more comfortable with looking at myself. I'm a good-looking, tall glass of chocolate milk, so,
chocolate.
I have a question. Like, do you at all feel like you've become the person that bullied you by then having this preference toward lighter-skinned people as opposed to someone that would look like you?
I will admit, yes. I will admit that, and like I said, we just shooting the realism. So I do agree with that. Yeah.
This hair's kind of sick though.
That's why now I'm focusing on myself, and being a part of this discussion is very important for me, because I'm starting to realize that prejudice needs to go. And I see this a lot.
That's a good piece of hair.
In the entertainment industry now, where they want a black woman, but they want your complexion. They want that light skin that look like she can go in between the white family and the black family. And I think I only speak openly about it because I know there's a lot of people who feel that way too, but they don't want to admit to it, or they don't want to express it.
Next question.
I currently go to therapy.
What?
3, 2, 1, go.
Hey,
okay, let's go ahead and skip that.
Users are smarter. Since most people have 2 SIMs, one for work
my
and one
father
for pleasure,
was present
the dual
in my
SIM
life.
feature allows them to keep
3,
just one phone.
2,
Fuck
1, go.
Not to jump into this one, like I absolutely love my dad. I'm even getting a little emotional thinking about my dad.
Guys, these questions.
Amazing. My dad was there.
This
for me
is
in
something
every way,
else,
shape,
dude.
and form, every facet, every way that he.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay. I'm gonna skip the ending. Yes. What the fuck is going on with Jubilee, dude?